One night, after a bartending shift, a man stumbles upon an infinite money glitch. He goes by the name of Dan Saunders. At about midnight, Dan leaves his shift to go get some money to hang out with friends. At the ATM, Dan does not have enough money to withdraw from his savings, so he transfers money from his credit card to his savings account. Dan then receives a transaction declined message. So what does Dan decide to do? He decides to hit withdraw money anyway, and the ATM delivered the $200 he requested. Dan went about his business. He met his friends out at the bar, had a couple of drinks, and had a great time. However, during his night, he could not shake the feeling of why did the ATM allow him to withdraw money he did not have. So on his way home, he stops back at the same ATM. He transfers money from his credit card to his savings with the same transaction denied message. And once again, the ATM allows him to withdraw the money. When the morning came, Dan decided to call his bank to see if they saw any issues on their end. And would you believe the bank said, "There is nothing wrong with your account." At this moment, Dan officially knew he had discovered an infinite money glitch. What Dan discovered is that the ATM goes into a standby mode between midnight and 2 a.m. So because of that standby mode, the ATM cannot check his bank account to see how much is available to withdraw. And when Dan discovered this, he lost his cool. Dan would now visit this ATM every single night. Dan decided to party. Dan got together with his friend and rented a private jet. They then filled it with random people they met at bars and took them to an all-inclusive resort where he already paid for everybody's expenses in cash. He then rented a bus where he went to get hitchhikers and backpackers, where he took them to an all-inclusive hotel party. With all of his newfound money, he even sent a good friend of his to his dream university in France, all expenses paid for. After about 6 months of spending, Dan started finding it hard to sleep as he would have nightmares of SWAT bursting into his apartment. All the anxiety of his newfound riches was proving to be too much for him to handle. So he decided that it was best to call the bank and let them know about the glitch that he had been abusing. However, the bank said it was out of their hands and that they would have the police investigate the issue. Interesting enough, nobody contacted him for another 2 years. With the issue weighing heavy on his conscience, he decided to contact a news agency to get his story out there. After the story aired, the police would come to his house and arrest him, where he would do 5 months in jail. He would also have to repay everything, but he could finally sleep well at night. Cheers to you, Mr. Dan Saunders.